you could only keep one bag, Birkin, Kelly, Constance, which one would you choose and why? And if it was just between a Birkin and a Kelly, it would be an easy choice. It would definitely be the Hello my friends, I am in the exact same spot in the same outfit as I was in my last video because I ended up splitting this Q&A into two parts. So if you have not seen part one, I'll make sure to link it down below for you. But I ended up staying behind and answered some more of your questions. So if you'd like to pick up where we left off and continue chatting about some of your Hermes dilemmas and popular Hermes topics, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. How did you manage to maintain your age history when moving town and country? Great question. Now, one thing that you have to know about your Hermes profile and your Hermes purchase history is that it's only available in the country that it was created in and where your purchases were made. They cannot be transferred and they cannot be seen from any other country. So if you move within the US, you're going to have an easy job because whatever purchase history you had in one state is going to be available in the next, and you can pretty much pick up where you left off. Now, obviously, you will have to establish yourself as a new client, but at least they will take you seriously because they can go through all of your purchases that you had made in the past. But if you're moving outside of the country, whether you move from the US to Europe or Asia or vice versa, those purchases and that history will not go with you. And that also applies to Europe. So let's say you have a profile in France. Just because you go to another country within the EU, so let's say you go to Italy, that doesn't mean that those purchases and that profile will go with you. They are exclusive to the country where they were created. So that's just something for you to keep in mind, because I feel like a lot of people think that the profiles are continental. They are not. They're exclusive to the country where they were created. Now, there have been rumors of Hermes creating a more globalized system, which I am personally a supporter of. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I personally would be. But that currently is not in place, that system. Now your profile is only available in the country where you started shopping. So I couldn't move mine, no one can. You pretty much have to start establishing yourself as a brand new customer with virtually no experience, but obviously you'll still be in a better position because you will have an idea of what Hermes is like. You'll have an idea for what you like, what you dislike, which means that you'll probably make better purchases and you have an overall better experience. But unfortunately, the history can really not come with you as long as you move outside of the country. Best Constance size for you? Easy answer, Constance 18. I have tried pretty much all the different sizes of Constance. So Constance 18, Constance 24, Constance 11. I don't think I have ever tried the Constance 14, so the Constance Micro, I have to admit that. But I do have the Constance Slim, which is kind of a similar idea, and I can easily say that the Constance 18 has been the best size for me. And I'm so mad at myself that it took me so long to get into the Constance 18, because there was a point in time when Constance bags were so much easier to come by. If you were a great client with a decent relationship with the brand, whenever they had it in stock, you could get it, and now they are getting just harder and harder to find. So if I have one regret about Hermes, it's definitely waiting so long on the Constance 18, because I should have started collecting it way sooner. But anyway, you live and you learn. But Constance 18 is definitely my most favorite size of Constance for myself, and really most people out there. The 24 I would really only recommend if you're going to use it as an underarm bag, if you're going to double the straps and carry it under one arm. Crossbody is just not the most flattering bag. What fine jewelry, bracelet, necklaces from Hermes do you recommend for a guy? I would say pretty much anything Chandon would be unisex. The Chandon line, you can buy rings, bracelets, and necklaces. I think the ring would be a great start. or buying a shandong bracelet, which does come in different width. So if you want to go a little bit more substantial and bulky, you can go for some of their large and extra large creations, both in silver and in gold. You can go for their shandong bangle, which I think is a great stacking piece. Or I do think that either the Kelly Gourmet or the Kelly chain line, the one that I own, are pretty masculine pieces. Oh, interesting question. Does the mini Kelly come in Epsom or only Chevre? Yes, it 1000% comes in Epsom, and it's one of the more common leathers to find a mini Kelly in. More often than not, you'll find a mini Kelly in more structured skins, so Epsom or even heritage skins like box, just because the mini Kelly only comes in a Sellier structure. So they tend to pair it with leathers that are known for being able to maintain their shapes quite well. But Chevre is also incredibly common, even though it's a softer leather. But one thing that's great about Chevre is that it absorbs color beautifully. So if you'd like a mini Kelly in a more vibrant color, Chevre is a great option, but you have to like that really, really soft, high shine, sort of oil slick greasy finish, in my opinion, that Chevre has. And then if you would like a more muted color but a bag that is more sturdy and more hard wearing, Epsom is definitely something that you can find out there. Thoughts on the Constance to go? Would it be an alternative to the Constance 18 or 24? Thanks. No, it would not. I think the Constance to go is a great bag to have. I personally would much rather go for a regular Constance long wallet than a Constance to go, just because I don't really like, first of all, the strap that it comes with, and the fact that it doesn't have quite as many card slots as the original wallet. But by no means I think it would be a dupe or an alternative for an 18 or a 24. To me, it's just such a different shape, such a different proportion, that if anything, it feels more like a Constance clutch bag. Let's do a couple more questions, and this one I'm seeing over and over again, which is if you could only keep one bag, Birkin, Kelly, Constance, which one would you choose and why? And if it was just between a Birkin and a Kelly, it would be an easy choice. It would definitely be the Kelly for me. But between the Kelly and the Constance, at this stage in my life, at this point, I would say I would go for the Constance. And the proof is in the pudding, just because I'm thinking ever since I got my Constance, I really haven't reached for any other bag. I just find it so convenient and easy to use. You can just throw it on crossbody. It goes with everything. You can dress it up, dress it down. It's easy to use. I love my Constance. So I would say, might be an unpopular opinion, but I would probably choose my Constance over my Kellys at this point, which is surprising to say, but I just have to think honestly about what bag I have been using the most, and by far it has been my Constance. What are your thoughts on Hermes exotics, which I know is quite a touchy and controversial topic, and I can completely understand that, but I would just say that Hermes exotics are beautiful, but they're incredibly delicate and finicky skins. So if you're planning on picking up an Hermes bag in exotic skin or an Hermes SLG, just know that they're going to be quite difficult to use. Not that they're going to fall apart if you start using them, that is certainly not the case, but you'll definitely start experiencing some signs of tear and wear, some watermarks and scratches and marks developing a lot sooner than you would start noticing that on regular skins. That is unfortunately just the name of the game of exotic skins, so I wouldn't say that they were made for everyday use. Also, when we talk about exotic skins, that's just a broad term. It includes ostrich, different types of lizards, different types of alligators, different types of crocs, and different finishes too. And each one of those will have their own pros and cons. So there's quite a bit to consider when it comes to exotic skins, especially from Hermes. But if you're seriously considering adding an exotic bag or piece of SLG to your collection, just speak to your store and express your interest, because I actually find, in my personal experience, it's a lot faster to get your hands on an exotic bag than it is to get that exact same bag in regular skins, just because you're competing against much fewer people who are willing to spend the price of an exotic bag on a bag which tends to be probably close to the price of a car. Then there are people who are willing to spend, let's say, $10,000 on a bag. That pool is much larger, whereas with exotic skins, there are much fewer people who are willing to spend that kind of money on a bag. So it's possible that you have the same experience and you get that bag a lot quicker than you would a regular bag. I'm still not saying that it's going to be smooth sailing. You have to be an established client, but I would definitely say to speak to your store as soon as you know that you're interested in an exotic bag. What can you say about the Birkin Sellier? Love it? Nope, I do not love it. But it's an interesting question because in the past couple of weeks, quite a few of my friends received a Birkin Sellier, a surprisingly large number of them now that I think about it. And if I also think about the people that I follow on Instagram, I have actually been seeing a lot of Birkin Selliers, which I guess most Hermes stores must have received a big shipment of Birkin Selliers because I have quite a few personal friends who texted me pictures of their new bags and they were all Birkin Selliers. Some of you guys sent me DMs that you have been waiting for a Birkin 25 and you were just offered a Sellier, and it's across the board. It's not just from one country or one store. It's like across the globe. I've been hearing a lot about Birkin Selliers, so I guess it's something that has just been shipped out. I do love the way the Birkin Sellier looks. I think if you're an Hermes collector and you have plenty of Birkins already and you're looking for something different because you're tired of buying the same bag over and over again in different colors and different leathers, the Birkin Sellier is truly something special to add to your collection. There's nothing quite like it. So I'm a big fan of the Birkin Sellier. Would I buy it for myself? I would absolutely not, mainly because it comes in 25 and 30. Those are the two most common sizes that it comes in, neither one of which suit my proportions. And then I have to point out a couple of downsides about the Birkin Sellier, which number one is that it's quite a wide bag. So you'll find that the base of the bag is wider than it is of, let's say, a Kelly 25 Sellier, which you would think is comparable, but in terms of the shape and the proportions, it's not. And because it's in Sellier, it's quite structured, so you have a hard time going in and out of the bag, and the more you stretch it, the more the sides will start creasing as well as the edges of the bag. So I like my Birkins a little bit more soft and a little bit more slouchy personally, even though I adore the way a Birkin Sellier looks. It's not something that I find would suit me, but they are definitely beautiful bags. They add a completely different facet to your collection. Now do bear in mind that they're going to be slightly more expensive than a Birkin would be in regular Vuitton structure. So I think a Birkin Sellier at this point is around 10,000, I think it was $10,800 in the US, which means that it's pretty much about $600-700 more than it would be if it was in return structure. Kelly 25 or Mini Kelly 2. I already have a Birkin 35 and a Kelly 28 as my big everyday bags, which, have you talked about this before? I feel like we have already addressed this, and there are quite a few questions that I see over and over again, which I know for a fact that we have talked about before. So what I'm thinking about doing, obviously it makes perfect sense, not everyone watches all of my videos, but maybe I think I could do some sort of an Hermes FAQ. We could do sort of a crash course on some popular Hermes topics, sharing my thoughts. So whenever these questions come up over and over again about the plastic on your Hermes hardware, because again, I got, 10 questions on that. I got questions about the Mini Kelly, even more of them. I could just send them these videos. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. I don't know if it would be boring for those of you who have already watched all of my Hermes Q&As, but I'm thinking it might be helpful, so let me know what you would think. But getting back to this question, there are such different bags, the Kelly 25 and the Mini Kelly. I find them to be completely different, even though there's technically only 5 centimeter difference between the two bags. That 5 centimeter makes a world of a difference. They're completely different proportions and different looks. For example, I adore my Mini Kellys, but I would never buy myself a Kelly 25 because I find that it is just a bag that doesn't suit me, and you wouldn't think that there can be that big of a difference, but there really is. The mini Kelly is much smaller, much more streamlined, much more compact, whereas the Kelly 25 just looks like a more formal, proper, ladylike bag. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I would say, and this is usually what I tell people, if you're considering both a Kelly 25 and a mini Kelly at one point, try to start with a mini Kelly, and not because I want to start any rumors or I want to, get anyone nervous about this. But you have to keep in mind that the mini Kelly 22 was launched as a limited edition bag back in 2015, and even though they continued making it, no one knows when they'll stop making the mini Kelly. I don't think it's going to be today, tomorrow, or the day after, but at one point down the line, it's possible that they will stop making the mini Kelly. So I would say get it while you can, get it while they have it around, because I don't think that the Kelly 25 will ever get discontinued. Again, I don't want to start any panic. I don't think the mini Kelly is getting discontinued, but it's possible that at one point it will, and they will make the Kelly 25 their smallest bag in the lineup. So I would say start with the mini Kelly, and then maybe get yourself a Kelly 25, especially because you already have a Kelly 28. I'm not sure if it's a return or Sellier, but a Kelly 28 and a Kelly 25, yes, they're different from one another, but the jump between a 28 and a 20 is going to be much more drastic. So I think it would help you create a more cohesive collection that way. And my friends, these are all the questions that we had time for today, frankly, because my back hurts from trying to sit so straight in this blazer. That's why I never wear blazers in videos, because they don't look the most flattering if I sit back properly. So I think I'm going to go take a break because I've been sitting here answering questions for 2 hours, but we still have a ton of questions, which I'm really grateful for. And don't worry, I always try to save them. Although I did lose them one time somehow, I don't know how, but I'll do my best to keep a record of all of your questions because I'm really grateful for them. And if you have any other questions, do let me know in the comment section. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more. But for now, bye.